This is Karen Brick recording homework assignment number 1 for entrepreneurial finance. Question 2.1. Throughout the 10 years, the management fees will total 21.25%, totaling $42.5 million in lifetime fees, leaving an investment capital of $157.5 million. Question number 2, using similar methods, we adjust for net capital years 6 through 10, we find the lifetime fees of $150.94 million and investment capital of $849.06 million. Question 2.3, we're able to calculate the lifetime fees of $50 million, the investment fees of $200 million. Total carried interest under structure 1 is calculated as X% times Z minus $250 million. Likewise, under structure 2, Y% times Z minus $200 million. Final question in chapter 2 is, what is a clawback? When and why is it used? It is a provision that protects LPs from paying a carry on one investment and then having the next investment incur loss. This clause allows LPs to claw back any carry paid during the life of the fund on previous portfolio investments in order to normalize the final carry to the original agreed percentage. Moving along to chapter 3, 3.1 is a Excel question. What we were able to do here is calculate the gross returns and the net returns. So for the gross returns, we calculated by comparing the value of the beginning of each year with the value at the end. So for example, 2010, we divided this 13,800 by the sum of this beginning value and this new investment value to get a gross return of 15%. Then for the net returns, we calculated by subtracting the carried interest to the numerator and adding the management fees to the denominator. Moving along to question 3.4, another Excel question. It did take a minute to do the calculations, but essentially what we see here is what we discussed in class, which is the hockey stick effect. So it starts with a negative net return or net cash flow, but then it eventually goes up to the positive range here. So chapter 4, what we do here is we are able to calculate alpha, beta, and cost of capital. We start by subtracting the RF from the RI and the RM. We put that into an regression analysis functionality in Excel. With that, we get the intercept and the X variable 1. And from there, we assume a risk-free rate of 4% and a market premium of 7%. With all of that information, we're able to use a formula for the cost of capital and get 10.15%. Question 4.2, true or false? Early stage venture capital should earn a higher return than later stage venture capital because early stage ventures have a higher failure rate. This is false. Early stage venture capitalist ventures might have a higher failure rate, but are also able to protect themselves by diversifying. Question 6.1, private equity is a substitute for public equity. This also is false. Private equity is an alternative, not necessarily a substitute. The two markets are separate and driven by their own ecosystems, laws, etc. And our final question, 6.2, countries with common law-based legal systems have relatively weak protections against investor expropriation. This is false. Studies have been done providing some evidence about the relationship between laws and finance. Concludes that the index of self-dealing is correlated with many measures of financial development. In other words, common law countries have proven to have greater protections. And that is all of the questions for homework 1. Thank you.